All right, this video is for the geometric construction notes. This will be lesson 1.5. So vocabulary, what we're starting out with. So a geometric construction is a construction of accurate representations of lengths, angles, and geometric figures using only a straight edge and compass. So this is the compass, straight edge is just your ruler. Again, we don't use the measurement marks on the ruler. We just need that nice sharp edge so we can draw nice pretty straight lines. So a straight edge is a tool used for drawing straight lines or to check their straightness. If it has equally spaced markings along its length, then it's usually called a ruler. So, like this ruler, equally spaced lengths by inches, and then by fractions of inches, half inches, quarter inches, eighth of an inch. This one looks like it goes to a 16th of an inch. Anybody in here considering going into any kind of construction job? Welding, building, anything like that? This is just advice from my husband because he has to teach new welders this all the time. Learn what the marks on the ruler are. Be able to go, oh, that's a half inch. Oh, that's a 1/4 inch. Oh, that's an 1/8 inch. He's got to teach the guys all the time what those markings represent. So, comes in handy. All right, a compass is a drawing instrument used for drawing circles and arcs. Not like Noah's Ark. It has two legs, one with a point, the other with a pencil or lead. So when I was learning this, it was called the lead. Anytime the teacher was telling us to do something, she would say, take the lead and do this. All right, so here's our two things that we'll be using. So our ruler or our straight edge. Again, it does not have the marking. It does not need the markings to do what we need it to do. We just need that nice sharp edge. So this whole tool is called your compass. The sharp metal end is your point. And then the pencil or the lead. Because some of these, like a pencil doesn't even fit into it. It's almost like a mechanical pencil and you just slide a lead into it, into the whole thing. So you don't have to replace an entire pencil in it. Okay, so first two constructions we're going to learn. We're going to make a congruent segment. So they've given us a line segment. We're going to make one identical, the exact same length. Okay, so it says given AB. So here's AB. We're going to construct CD, and it's going to be congruent. Same size, same shape. So step one, draw a ray with endpoint C longer than AB. So with your ruler, I highly recommend using pencil, but you're just going to draw you a line that's longer than AB. It does not have to be parallel, doesn't have to be perfect, anything like that. We're going to mark the end point, and we're going to label that C. So this is a ray. It has an end point, and then the other end goes on and on and on forever and ever and ever. All right, here's where your compass comes in. You don't turn the compass, you turn the paper. Trying to take the compass and do this with it, it likes to get stuck. It's easier to turn your paper, okay? So we're going to place the point of the compass on point A, and then you're going to adjust the lead so it matches point B. So point on A, lead on B. I made the dots big so you can easily hit them. And these are typed for a reason. The more you yank them back and forth, the looser they get, but it'll make it less accurate, okay? So your first step is you're measuring the length of AB with your point and your pencil. Okay. So let's see. Place the lead, give a segment, and create an arc mark. You don't really have to do that, but if you want to practice making an arc mark, when you hold this thing, you hold it by the point. Okay? Not the whole thing, not the top. But wherever you're going to put your point is where you put the sharp little piece. And then again, it's easier to turn the paper than it is to try to scrape this thing back and forth across the page. But that's what's called an arc mark. That's how I grade these things. If I can see your arc mark, then I know you use this and you didn't just try to measure it with a ruler. Okay? So make sure anytime you do one of these, I can see your arc marks. Okay? So that was A. So now to make a matching segment, we're going to take this point and we're going to move it down to our point C. We're not changing the distance of our compass. Again, that's why we like using the metal ones, even though they're deadly, but they're tight. So when you move them, it doesn't close in on itself. So we're going to put the sharp point on C, and then across that ray, we're going to make a new arc mark. Okay. Where those two lines cross, where that arc and where the original ray cross, that's my new point D. So again, when I was taught this stuff, what we did after the fact, I'm not going to require this of you unless you are super particular. We went over our finished drawing, our finished figure with like a pen or something just to make it stand out. But again, that's why I ran these on white paper instead of colored paper, so that your pencil marks showed up. So here's how I'm going to grade any construction you do. Do you have it labeled correctly? Do you have your arc marks that you need? If you have those pieces, then I'm going to count it right. So what you did was you made this line segment the exact same length as this line segment. You can take your ruler if you want and kind of measure it out and see. Rules of rulers, you never start at the end. All rulers are kind of different here at the end, so you always start at the first inch mark. So my line segment here is 1 inch, 2 inch. That would be 2 1/4. So one more would be, a fourth would be 2/8, so 3/8. And then if I measure the original, I'm at about the same spot. Okay. Again, if it's not exactly perfect, that's okay, as long as you have the pieces that show you went through the process. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do congruent angles. So we made a line segment that was the same size. Now we're going to make an angle that has the same measurement here. Okay. I do want to show you how to use, my brain just stopped. Protractor, there we go. So the little dot, the little opening that you see, you stick that on the vertex. The vertex is like the point of the angle. So that little dot goes on the vertex, but it's this line at the bottom is what you're wanting to line up. This line you want to line up with the bottom edge. And again, all of these are a little bit different, so they're all going to line up a little bit different. But that way you get this nice straight edge. You can make sure that everything's lined up. And then wherever this points, so it's hard to tell. So again, in high school, when we had to do this, we don't have to measure a lot of angles anymore in high school geometry. We would have to extend that one leg, so that way when we lined this thing up, we could see where it crossed. And I go, oh, this angle is 30 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another 30-degree angle. So we are going to draw a new ray, SR, of any length. So my original ABC, we're going to make a new one that's RST. The letter in the middle is your vertex, is your point. So I would draw it down here, pretty close to the bottom. But draw you a nice, pretty long line. I'm actually going to shorten mine a little bit. Okay, so we said S was going to be the middle. It doesn't matter where on this line that I put point R. Okay, I can put it anywhere. The main thing is that this is a ray, that it has an endpoint, that endpoint is S, and it goes on and on and on and on forever and ever and ever in that one direction. Okay, step 2, place the point of the compass on vertex B and select a width that is less than the measure of the 2 rays. Here's what it's meaning. Take your compass. I'm going to put the point on B, and then I want my pencil to be shorter than this point A and this point C. Okay? And we're going to draw an arc across that angle. And then we're not going to change the measurement that we have on this compass. So don't pull it apart. Leave it the same distance. Make sure it matches. And then you're going to take this point and you're going to move it to S. And then you're going to draw another arc. Draw this one decently large. Okay, it doesn't have to go all the way around, but you want it to be, make sure you have more width than this. Okay, so we drew a ray, we drew an arc on the original angle, and then the same arc measurement where my new one's going to go. Okay, all right, next step. Place the point of the compass on the intersection of the first arc and ray, and then place the lead on the second. So we're going to change distances here, but where these arcs intersect the angle, those 2 places, we want to take that measurement. Okay, so you're going to place the point on one of those intersections, and then the lead on the other intersection. As close as you can. Again, the dots are big, so it gives you some wiggle room. All right. Hold this measurement. These are tight, so you can lay this down and it's not going to lose that measurement. Where that first arc crossed my new ray, I want to make me a point at that intersection too. This intersection and this intersection are the same. They're representing the same distance on here. So when I measure these 2 intersections, I can take this point and I can line it up with the same point down here, and I can draw me a new arc. Whoa, I'm stuck on things. Ugh. I don't have a big enough desk to be able to do this. So mine's a little wonky, mine's a little off. Mine's like way off, but again, as long as you have your marks. So where that first arc and that new arc cross, that intersection is the same as this point. Okay, this distance is the same as this distance. So then I can take my vertex and then that intersection point with my ruler, and I can draw the other leg of my angle in there. And I can even label that point, that can be my T point. It doesn't matter where I put that T point, but since that's already a point, I might as well use that. So that is now angle RST. Everything has a name, and the order that you say the letters in matters. Okay, RST, when we're talking about an angle, tells me that S is the vertex. It's the sharp point of that angle. So you can copy any angle size, any line segment size, using just a compass and a straight edge. Okay? All right, so that's it for this first set of notes for lesson 5.